Since 2018, the Bears have not done anything in the playoffs, or at the very least, have had a winning record. The Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer, nor have they even won a Super Bowl in 30 years. Why are the Bears so unlucky? And is this the year they can finally turn it around? Well, it all started in 2018 when the Bears went 12-4. They had just hired a new head coach, Matt Nagy, and this might have been the start of something new because Matt Nagy was really good. He had a good resume. He was the quarterback's coach in Kansas City for a while until he became the OC in Kansas 2017. And then the Bears hired him in 2018 as their head coach, and things were finally looking up. This 2018 Bears team was actually really good. We had defensive players like Khalil Mack, Roquan Smith, Kyle Fuller, and Eddie Jackson who are stars, they're big names. And we even had people on the offense like Mitchell Trubisky, Tariq Cohen, and Allen Robinson who could shape out to be really great players. So what happened? This year, the Bears actually ended up making the playoffs, but they had a horrible wildcard game against the Eagles and lost to a double doink. So let's move on to 2019. The Bears went 12-4 in 2018, right? So they could use all these star players and these young guys on the offense to have an even better team, maybe a Super Bowl contending team the next year. So what happened? Why'd they go 8-8? Well, the reason why they did so bad was because they didn't even do anything. All they did in the offseason was get one mid wide receiver that doesn't really change their odds of winning a Super Bowl. For example, when the Rams got really close to winning a Super Bowl, they sunk all of their resources into getting Matthew Stafford, and guess what? They won the Super Bowl. So when the Bears didn't do anything, they kind of fell behind. So in 2019, they lost their chances of getting a Super Bowl. Now, there was some hope for the Bears in 2020. They had a couple early round draft picks that could end up being stars, like Cole Kmet and Jalen Johnson, who are big names right now. Like, they are good players. But this was their rookie year. No one could expect them to be good. And the biggest problem was that Mitchell Trubisky actually ended up getting worse. His main plays were rushing plays, and his rushing yards went from 421 to a little bit under 200 rushing yards in 2020. And same with his yards per attempt, which went down from 7.4 to 6.1. Trubisky definitely played worse, and you need a good quarterback to do good. And they also made bad choices at the O-line too. Although that their offense was having a bunch of problems, their defense was also having some problems too. They had a really good defense in 2018. They really had to build off of it. The problem was that Roquan Smith, who is a crazy star on the Ravens right now, just wasn't doing amazing on the Bears. And they also gave up people like Nick Kwiatkowski, and he was a really key player on their offense, and he actually did a lot to help lock down that Bears defense. And people like Jalen Johnson, who would, grow up to be amazing players, just it was their rookie year. You couldn't expect that much out of them. So this year was also kind of a letdown for the Bears. So what do they do in 2021? They have to make big decisions, and they have to cut Trubisky. He just wasn't doing it for the Bears. He was blamed for these past 2 seasons for not being a good quarterback, and they get him out. Mitchell Trubisky is off the team. Same with Kyle Fuller on the defense. Not because they didn't like him, but more because of, financial mishaps and things like that. And this is going to be a rebuild year for them. They have no high expectations for this season. All they want is to have a complete revamp, and maybe in the coming seasons, they could be real playoff contenders. So what do? They pick Justin Fields. This guy has got to be the future of the Bears. And they also pick an offensive lineman, Tevin Jenkins, and this is because they let go of Charles Leno and Bobby Massey, who were there. 2 pretty good offensive linemen, getting worse, so they gotta get them out. But, this is gonna be a complete rebuild year for the Bears, and this year has got to be a year where they can come back and do better things. So now we move on to 2022. What do? They got a quarterback, but they want to hold up the defense. So they get 2 great draft picks, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, who are good players on the Bears defense right now. And that's almost about all they did. They lost a crazy star, Khalil Mack. They lost Khalil Mack, who is an amazing player. And because of that loss, they had to make a defense rebuild too by taking their 2 defensive rookies. And this year they did really bad. They went 3-14, but it is excusable because this is also a rebuild year. They need to rebuild the Bears fully. Now, 2023 was truly a crazy season for the Bears if you think about off-season moves and trades and this and that, because the Bears might have made the most one-sided trade in NFL history. The Bears traded their number 1 overall pick from 2022 and their number 9 overall pick to the Panthers, and they got DJ Moore, Darnell Wright from the 10th overall pick that the Panthers gave them, Tyreek Stevenson from the 56th overall pick the Panthers gave them, Caleb Williams from their 2024 first round pick from the Panthers, and another 2024 pick they got Torrey Taylor, and a 2025 second round pick again from the Panthers. You guys don't understand. This trade was so crucial for the Bears. They need someone else. They need all these players. DJ Moore could help Justin Fields break out. Darnell Wright, a great offensive lineman. Tyreek Stevenson, a cornerback that could be a starter and a cornerstone for the Bears defense. Caleb Williams, who they didn't pick yet, obviously. They would pick in 2024 after deciding to let go of Justin Fields. And this trade could make 2024 the Bears' year, finally. In 2023, they had an okay season, 7-10. Justin Fields was out for a little bit, and ultimately they decided to cut Justin Fields. They decided to take Caleb Williams and see where the road takes them. And this brings us to 2024, where we are 1 week into the season at the time of uploading this, and they're 1-0. Caleb Williams didn't have a great start, but they had a start, and maybe this will be the year.